have coffee, but it's really hot, so I can't drink it right now. All right, hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Bean, and today I'm kind of trying to reorganize my life. It's going so well. Some of you may recognize this cart. Approximately 6 months ago, I posted a video that talked about this cart, that introduced this cart. This is my vibe card. Now, I don't know if any of you can, remember, but it has not really changed much. It's gotten messier, there's spots open on here and such. So I've come to the conclusion that since I'm barely using it, I'm going to take it apart and put different books on it, because this obviously isn't working. I'm taking books off of my shelves to read, not taking the ones from here. So we're going to just take everything off and we're going to redo this all and see how this goes. So I also just this room also really needs to be cleaned. Also the light's not on right now, so it's a little bit darker than normal in here. But I also realized looking at these that a lot of these books, while they're good books and they're ones, or I've heard they're good books and they're ones that I do eventually want to read, a lot of these are not ones that I am currently in any sort of mood to read. So for those of you who don't know, Vibe Cart is basically what I use as a chronic mood reader to help me narrow down what I am in the mood to read. So since I do make TBRs at the beginning of each month, I don't really follow them very well, so I have a vibe cart in order to have several different options based on genre, how long I've had this book, whether or not I actually need to read it, and it kind of lets me decide if I'm going to read it, and I can look at this as the priority reads, if you will. Now, the priority reads are not here anymore. These books are great. These ones I do want to read, and some of them will end up back on this cart. They will. But right now, no, this isn't what I want. So let's start by just taking everything off. I don't remember how I did this video before, but I'm going to do it this way this time. So first off, we're going to take everything off the cart and see what I decide to do with that. Problem is, this place is a mess right now. So there's stuff and books everywhere. And in fact, there's stuff on the back of, in the back of the top part section of this cart, there's stuff. So I gotta be wary of all that. Now that it's all cleared off, I'm gonna go get a spray bottle and we're gonna clean it, because I don't know the last time this cart was cleaned, and that's really disgusting to think about. Also, this house collects dust like no other. It's absolutely ridiculous. Go through with this afterwards and it'll clean up all of any dampness that's on here so I don't get my books all wet. There we go. Is my coffee cool enough yet? Alright, so now that it's clean, we're gonna go through some of the books that I have on here. The first thing that you did see me take off is this big box set of The Adventures of Tintin, or as we have learned, it's The Adventures of Tonton. It's French. This permanently sits in the back of this cart because, one, I want easy access to it because I do actually read these comics. They are old comics from France. And actually, John and I just recently watched the TV show, and we rewatched the movie. And honestly, this is just like a childhood thing for me. Like, I read these when I was a kid. So I keep these up here. They stay up here. That's that. There you go. All right, now, these books. Are there any of these that I want to keep on the cart? I'm going to put them in a pile, and then I'm going to switch and see where they will go on the cart, and then kind of go from there, if that makes any sense at all. So, let's move you a little bit, and you can watch, I guess.
I can't do nothing with you.
Alright, I can already tell you right now, this is like maybe half of the books that were on here beforehand. So we're gonna put these on here, on the cart, in kind of like the general area where I'm going to prioritize them for now. So, yes, let's get to it.
I can't do nothing with you.
So these books are not in order, I'm just trying to fill the shelves right now. They're just in the right shelves, is really more what it is.
I can't do nothing with you.
As far as what I'm looking for. This one should probably...
I can't do nothing with you.
Oh. Actually, that that. I still have room. I didn't expect to still have room. All right, we'll go back into book hunting. All right, now that there's enough books on here, I can finally drink my coffee because it's finally cool enough for me to drink. And I'm going to take them off, put them in order, and then I will show you guys what I'm putting on here. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to start with In the Roses of Pieria, I believe is how you say it. I'm not sure. This is by Anna Burke. This was the February Twisted Retreat book, and it is just such a lovely book. I believe this is a vampire romance, but it's also horror because Twisted Retreat is all horror books, and I just finished one. I really did enjoy it, so I want to read more of my Twisted Retreat books, and this is the one that most recently came, and honestly, I'm really excited for this one. There's also a bookmark in here, like a cloth one. And I don't remember the last time I had one of these bookmarks that came in a book box book. So that's really cool, and it made me really excited. So let me put this on the first page, though. These are also exclusively signed books, so that's really cool. Book 2 is a book that I've been meaning to read for a while, and that's Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joe Segura. We're actually going to meet Joe Segura when we go to Romance Con or Rom-Con in September, so I really want to get to this one. It sounds amazing. It's enemies to lovers, archaeology romance that takes place in South America. Aztecs. I'm sold. That's all I need to know. Next is one that actually was on my January TBR I never read, and that is Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I want to get into some more of this higher fantasy stuff. I would love to learn how to write some more of this to get more into it. And I love this one is Norse mythology inspired, and I actually have the audiobook, so I do want to read it. And I think John actually started reading it at one point, so. Next one, I also started the audiobook that I got from the library, and that is Wool by Hugh Howey. I actually was really enjoying this very unique sci-fi dystopian book, so I'm intrigued to continue with it and actually read the whole series. Because it's also a show, but I don't have Apple TV, so I'm never going to watch the show. Hold on, I need to move this camera up. It's bothering me. This is the Tintin stuff. The Tintin stuff. All right, next I have Delilah Green Doesn't Care. This was on the cart before. This is by Ashley Herring Blake. This is the first book in what I think is just a trilogy of female-female romances, and this one sounds adorable. Next, I have A Promise of Fire by Amanda Boucher. I've been meaning to read this for a couple of years now, and I absolutely adore these copies. We have met her several times, and there's art in these books. She is so sweet, and even gave me printed book plates for the books that I was ordering. Next book on my list is Kiss My Cupcake by Helena Hunting. It's boozy cupcakes and an axe throwing bar, if I recall correctly. Romance, and I love it. Just love the concept. Next, we have Red Rising, which, yeah, I know I'm way behind. I haven't read this series. I haven't started it, and I really, really want to, and I really, really honestly need to, just because it's something that has been on my radar for years, and with more books still coming out, I want to know the hype. I want to know. Next, I have The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. Megan Bannon is another author that we will be reading at Rom-Con in September. I am very excited. The second book, I believe, is either out or is coming out this year. I don't remember. But this is a mortician and a marshal. That's what I know. It is a romance, but it's also supernatural, if I recall correctly. Next is The Infinity Courts by Kemi Dawn Bowman. This, I just know that we picked this up at Half Price Books because it sounded really interesting. It's 2021 release, sci-fi, and that's what I remember. Sorry. I think there's cyborgs in it, actually. Next is a sequel, and that is The Traitor by Ava Glass. This is the sequel to Alias Emma, which is like a spy book that I read last year. Really enjoyed it. It was really fun, really quick read, and this is the second one, and I just want to read the really quick read again. It was a lot of fun. I enjoy my spy books. I miss them. Next, I have Sons of Darkness by Gaurav Mahani. This is the Barnes & Noble edition, so it's got some really cool end pages. It's got sprayed edges. Yeah, there's kings, queens, gods, darkness, and it sounds epic, honestly. So I'm very excited. I have been recommended this book, weirdly enough, even though I don't know anything about it. But I also really love the cover, and I know that's a debut, so I want to try and get to that sooner rather than later. And Flirtosaurus by Ava Malone. You have heard me talk about this book so many times, and just haven't read it. And I have no reason to have not read it. I am so excited. It's a paleontologist and an astronaut. Astronomer. Darn it. Romance. And it just looks so cute. I also just love the cover, and we've met the author a couple times. She is so fun. She is so much fun. I love her. I would love to be her friend. Shelf number 2. We're going to start with The Wolf of Oroñaro by K.S. Vioso. This is the first book, and depending on which one, either the Chronicles of the Wolf Queen or the Chronicles of the Bitch Queen, depending on which edition of the book you have. This is a fantasy. So, tagline right here at the top: they called me the Bitch Queen, the She-Wolf, because I murdered a man and exiled my king the night before they crowned me. It's a completed trilogy, and it just sounds epic and awesome, and I really want to read it, so there we go. Next one I have on here is The Half-Drowned King by Linnea Hartsuyiker? I'm really sorry. This is a Norse-inspired first book in a trilogy that, again, is also completed. I got this from I think Unplugged box at one point. They were doing like customized boxes, and this is the one that they sent me, and I'm so excited about it. So this is Viking era historical romance. Historical romance. This is Viking era historical fantasy, from what I know. Also, I really like this cover. Next, I've got One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This has been all over. The sequel's out now, so I'm a little bit behind on actually reading this one. Witch Possessed by Something. Something to do with tarot cards. This right here is also the cat trait that everything has been resting on for a while, by the way. I've got The House Witch by Delmog. This is volume 2. I read volume 1 in like very short period of time. Had to wait to read volume 2 because book slump otherwise, book hangover, so I need to read this one soon. So I have all 3 of them. I just need to read them so I can read more of Delmog's stuff because it's amazing. It's cozy fantasy. This is cozy fantasy. Switching, I got The Spare Room by Andrea Bartz. Andrea Bartz has several best-selling books out. They're all thrillers, and I've been getting a little bit more into thrillers and horror books lately. And this one is about a woman who moves into a spare room in a couple's house and becomes intimate with them, and then only to learn that the last person that lived in this room, who was also intimate with the couple, has vanished, has disappeared, no longer exists, and doesn't know what happened. This is known as a domestic suspense book, so we'll see. I'm not big on domestic thrillers, but this one just sounds so intriguing to me. I couldn't say no. I also really love this cover, again. Next, I've got The Hollow Gods by A.J. Vrana. This is a book I got from a Polycon. I met the author, had a wonderful conversation with her. Lovely person. And this is apparently about a fighter who wakes up next to a dead body. He doesn't know what happened. So yeah, and this cover is absolutely friggin' gorgeous. Like, you can see the other person right here. Like, that's so crazy. I have both books in the series, and I do plan on reading them, so. Next, I've got Distress Signals by Catherine Ryan Howard. Catherine Ryan Howard is a well-known thriller writer, again, thriller horror writer, I believe. And I'm really excited to finally read something. This takes place on a cruise ship and deals with missing women, so yes. Another sequel on my cart is going to be Dance of a Burning Sea by E.J. Mello. I read the first book in the series, which name I cannot remember off the top of my head because I'm bad at this. The Song of Forever Rains. And I absolutely adored it. I just haven't picked up the sequel. This one has to do with pirates too, but it's basically three sisters who are sirens of different sorts. The first one could sing, this sister can dance, and the oldest sister plays, I believe it's the violin. And this one, she falls in love with a pirate and has to make a deal with him. So yes, I believe it's like kind of enemies to adversary, or like adversaries to lovers is kind of what it is. Would highly recommend this series. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Next one, because I just finished a book called A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. I have We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal, same author. I haven't read it. So now it's on my list because I need to read this book. So I need to read more by this author. She is wonderful. That's it. That's all you need to know for that one. All right, next we've got A Love Catastrophe by Helena Hunting. This is my second Helena Hunting book on this cart, but I couldn't not put it on here. So it's cat lover, romance, yes. All right, then we've got The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. There was huge hype around this for a long time, and I did not read it. And I really would like to, also because I have been reading more thrillers. I want to see if it is good or if it's just a hyped one. So honestly, this is partially on here because I want to know if it's actually good or not. Because I read another TikTok famous horror thriller writer, and I did not enjoy her writing style. So we'll have to see. I'm not sure. All right, next I'm going to add on Skin Deep. This is not the PG cover, obviously. This is by Kimberly Kincaid. This is the first book in the series of the Station 17 series, which is a firehouse romance. And I just collect books by her because she sells the whole series. And this is the first year I won't be able to get a series from her, and I'm kind of sad about it. But I need to read them. I know which series I was going to get next, too. It was the yellow one. Police officer one, I believe. And the last book that's going to go on this shelf is Throttled by Lauren Asher. This is a Formula One. I think of racing. I was like, but it's specific racing. This is a Formula One racing romance. And I've heard amazing things about this series specifically. And I grew up watching racing, so I'm here for it. All right. Now we've got one more pile, one more shelf of books, and we'll see how this goes. Now you can come here. For the third and final shelf, here, hold on. There, now you can see it. We're gonna start with An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. Now, before you come at me for this, one, I didn't realize this edition's signed, but that's very exciting. I've read this. I have read this. I read this actually. Hold on, let me double check, make sure I'm not lying to you. Yeah, I read this like back when it came out because I was a couple years out of college at that point. I'm old like that. I read this book back when it first came out, so I did read the first one in this series. I adored it, but the rest of the series wasn't out at the time, so I didn't continue. So this is one of those that has suffered from that for me. So I need to go back and I need to reread this book so I can read the rest of them, because I have 3 of the 4 books. So yeah, I need to go back and reread this. Oh gosh, it's been almost 10 years since I've read this book. I'm just gonna age myself right here. Next, I've got The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I have actually started this book just on a whim. I decided I was gonna read it. It should be a little higher up. I have a feeling I'm gonna pick this one up a lot faster than I think I will, because this book was honestly so adorable when I started. It's just so cute. I got like 100 pages into it, and it was so cute. So I probably will end up picking this one up sooner, but I love little sci-fi books like this. It's so much fun. It reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like, that's the vibes I got from the first bit I read, and then from what I've heard about it from other people. I loved Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I have a bind-up edition of it, actually, that was given to me back in like high school as a birthday present. It was excellent. Best gift. Thank you, Will. Next, I'm going to add in The Starless Crown by James Rollins. I really wanted to say The Starless Sea, but this is The Starless Crown by James Rollins. This is the first book in a series. I also have the second one on audio. And this is about a student who predicts the apocalypse and then gets banished for their efforts. Honestly, this sounds amazing and kind of fun. Next one is Crow Among Girls by Brendan Veo. This is also a Twisted Retreat book. I believe it was either November or December last year. I don't remember exactly what this is, but it sounds like a culty book, and I'm hit and miss with cult books. But I do want to read more of the Twisted Retreat books, so this one's staying on the cart. It sounds interesting. Next, I've got Written in the Stars by Alexandra Bellefleur. We did meet her as well at a Polycon. Come on, give me the page. And she signed my book. This is a female-female romance that takes place in Seattle. That's what I know about it, and you can tell that by the cover. I don't know. But I've had it on my radar for quite a while, and I do actually really want to read it. Next, I've got Pestilence by Laura Thalassa. I'm so intrigued by this. I also have read a Laura Thalassa book. I started the Fallen World trilogy, and I am loving it, so there you go. Next, I've got The Kinder Poison by Natalie May. I don't remember what this one's about. Ancient magic. That's what I know. Cool. There we go. Girl destined to die, a weapon more powerful than any blade. And there's a cool golden, what are you? Scorpion on the cover. I'm tired, okay? I'm also doing this so I don't have to do my taxes. Next, I've got Spice Road by Maya Ibrahim. I don't know much about this book. I got it because it actually ripped and I taped it back together. This is the Fairy Loot version of this book, so I kind of actually got it for free, but it's very pretty. Whoever controls the spice controls the kingdom itself. So, yep. And I wonder if I have another book that's similar style and to this one, but it's an adult book, so I wonder if maybe I can read those two and see what they're like together. I don't know. I'm just talking now. Next, I've got A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. I want to read more by T. Kingfisher because I do really like what they write. So, there you go. And this one has won several awards. All the awards. It's pretty cool. And there's a sentient sourdough starter that's our main character's familiar. Like, okay. Alright, I have Rise of the Snake Goddess by Jenny Elder Moak. This is the second book in the Samantha Knox series, which is basically like Indiana Jones, but make it a teenage girl. And that's exactly what it is. And we just rewatched Indiana Jones, the original ones. Next, I've got Kiss and Don't Tell by Megan Quinn. I have read Megan Quinn before, and I enjoyed the Highland Fling, which is the last book I read by her. This is a hockey romance. And the girl, I believe, gets stuck in a cabin in the woods with a bunch of these hockey players, and shenanigans ensue. Alright, the last two on here are on here. I'm interested, but they're not super high priority, and that is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. This one is signed. A romance between a girl who's come up from the city to the Alaska bush, and a bush pilot, so yes. And then the last one I have on here is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sango Mandana. I have long been wanting to read this book, and I just haven't, and I really just need to. Alright, so that's what I've got for you guys here. Hopefully, now that I've redone this, this whole thing will be a bit more useful to me now. It's kind of more towards my current interests as far as what I want to read, rather than what my interests were 6 months ago. You'd be amazed how quickly it changes. So, yeah, that's what I got for you guys here today. I am going to put the books that did not make it back onto the cart. I'm going to put those on the shelves because now I've got, like, so much space everywhere. I'm going to have to redo my shelves. Oh, darn. Oh, darn. Oh, boy. Okay, this is going to take a little while. I'll have to figure it out. All right, until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, keep reading, and I'll see you next time. Bye!